Welcome back to the Better Lives podcast. I'm your host, Kaitlin.
And I'm Erik.
And today we have an exciting episode. We have special guests today. It's Central Willamette's very own Senior Manager of Community Engagement, Rebecca.
Welcome, Rebecca. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
We're very excited to have you here today.
We're trying to expand and get more Central Willamette employees on here, so thank you for volunteering. Well, voluntold, jinx.
That's always the best, though, being voluntold.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
For us.
To start things off, I just want to kind of have you kind of explain what community engagement is. We still have a lot of confusion between marketing because it falls under the marketing umbrella, but it's kind of slightly different approach. Rather than selling products, we sell the community engagement aspect of it. So if you'd like to get into that and tell us a little bit more about that, we'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So community engagement, yes, we are part of, the way that I like to explain it is that we are the other side of the street of marketing. So we are definitely more brand awareness, going out into communities. I'm really trying to garner some more community trust of Central Willamette as a brand. And so the way that we do that is kind of through a lot of different avenues. The first is going to be sponsorships, which, as you guys know, takes up a lot of my time. And so that means really identifying different organizations that kind of fit within, really align with our mission here at Central Willamette and figuring out ways that we can support them, whether that's monetary, sometimes that's going to be like volunteers, sometimes it's going to be like events, sometimes it's going to be financial education. So really just filling the gaps for those organizations as best that we can with the resources we have here at Central Willamette. So that's kind of what we do. And another thing I always like to tell people is that community engagement is a long game. So we know that this takes time. Relationships take time. Building trust in communities takes a long time. So it's not like we are going to give money to a specific organization and the next day we have like 100 new members. It takes time. And so I think that that's a huge misconception with community engagement as a whole.
That makes sense. So yeah, your focus obviously is we want to show the benefit of Central Willamette, but
how we benefit the community as well.
Yes.
Exactly. How we benefit the community,
Yes.
how being part of our community helps broaden your community, so to speak. What are some of the types of organizations you guys focus on that fit in your mission? What are some of those?
Yeah, so we definitely support like a wide range of different organizations. Typically, we're really looking for folks that are kind of filling some of those like basic needs service gaps within our communities, whether that's going to be like healthcare, transportation, education is a huge one for us. We do a lot of investment in education, and also a lot of like affordable housing. We're really trying to kind of pick up on what that support is going to look like in 2026. As we know, housing is we're in a crisis, we're in a national crisis, and so we are trying to find ways that we can be part of the solution in our local communities.
That's awesome. What do you see mostly? What are we primarily focused in currently? Where does most of our budget get allocated towards?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say education is really up there. And then I would also say kind of a lot of like youth programming. We do a lot with the Boys and Girls Club, as you guys know, in a lot of different communities as well. And then we support a lot of school districts. So I would say we're very youth focused, which is great. And I would also say that we're trying to kind of expand what that looks like next year as well. So being able to support other groups of people as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're saying that mostly we help out with either monetary or volunteerism. But the Boys and Girls Club in Corvallis, that was something kind of unique, right? We did let's talk about that a little bit. The reading room, I just found out about that. So I want to hear more about it myself. But this is another example of how we can help out in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I recently just learned about this too. I am new, so I feel like I'm learning new things every day that we support, which is...
it's a fun place to be.
It's a fun place to be, yeah. So the reading room, we sponsor a room at the Boys and Girls Club in Corvallis, and it's part of their literacy initiative. So I believe that this is really kind of coming out of the fact that like reading scores, test scores in Oregon are pretty low for our students. And so the Boys and Girls Club in Corvallis was like, well, what can we do? And so they actually have like bought all of this curriculum. They just hired a staff member that's going to kind of lead the charge. And so this is going to be a place for students that may be struggling with literacy to come after school free of charge, and they will be getting that tutoring. I think that, they'll be able to kind of have access to like different types of supportive services, and Central Willamette is sponsoring that, which is so cool.
I love that. That was so excited when I heard about that. I can't remember what I was there for. It was like,
we were at a breakfast.
Yeah, it was a breakfast for the Boys and Girls of the Year or something like that, right? That was
right.
really exciting. And then we didn't get a chance to see the reading room that day, but I heard about it. And they're saying they're always taking volunteers, and that's the one thing I think it's important. I had struggled with reading when I was younger, comprehension reading. I knew how to read.
It's hard that's hard for a lot of kids.
It is these days. It's getting harder and harder too with social media and being stuck on just your attention. You're just looking for that next dopamine hit, and you get it quicker from TV or your phone faster than you do from a book.
That's right.
When I was a kid, I was just my ADD or whatever. I just couldn't. I could read the words, but I couldn't comprehend any of it until I was like in fourth grade. And that just stuck with me for a long time because like I can read well now, but even to this day, I just still have that little me and there's just like terrified to get it in front of people and read. So I that's important to me. So.
Yeah, I think going off of that too, like I think a lot of kids, it's like if you have any type of, anything that you are kind of working through as a child, that can really cause stigma. And so I think that this initiative and kind of having a whole space dedicated to this is a way to also celebrate that there are ways to overcome and that, there's strength and resiliency. And so to kind of have a whole room dedicated to it and not like put it in the back in the corner. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, like,
it was like a nook.
You get pulled from class to go to like another classroom if you had to work on
embarrassing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's
that
really
kid.
cool. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I wasn't. I avoided them like the plague. I was just like, nope, not me. And then I don't know. I had good enough grades for everything.
When like you're reading in school and like I would be counting the paragraphs, see what I would have to read when we were doing it out loud.
Too.
I did the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I gotta practice this one line because that's gonna be mine. And then like someone would be like, oh no, I can't do it. And then I get a different part and I'd be like, oh no, I didn't prepare for this one.
Or you're not paying attention to what other people are saying because you're too busy listening. I was like, what did that whole thing talk about? All I know is my one line from this whole book.
That's right. Yeah. And the fact that we get to support that as an organization and to potentially like be able to create different outcomes for students, I think that is so powerful. And when we're talking about like brand awareness and potentially, generational loyalty to Central Willamette Credit Union, like what better of a way?
Yeah. And that's why I so desperately wanted to get you on there. I know it's tough to be on the podcast sometimes and just have the big mic in front of your face and everything. Like I know it can be kind of challenging at times, but we appreciate you coming on because this is so important. Central Willamette's not just trying to be a bank or a financial institution for you. We're not trying to just get you loans, not trying to get you to get more credit cards or anything.
That's right.
When you do those things, there's actually a community impact on that. And that's the whole point of a credit union is to give back. That's what the not-for-profit is. But what does that mean? That's why we want to have an actual detailed idea of what we're actually doing. So that literacy program was fantastic. I wanted to highlight that from the moment I saw that.
How long has that reading room been there? Is that relatively new?
We have sponsored the room, I at least think for 2 years.
Okay.
But just this year, they're really starting to expand those efforts. And so the last time I was at the Boys and Girls Club in Corvallis, which was probably like a couple of weeks ago, they had just bought all of their curriculum. They bought all new curriculum. They just hired a full-time staff member.
It's
their
expensive.
entire
Wow.
Yes.
So this came from the I thought it was already established. I didn't know. I thought that program was already in place, but that program was put in place due to the efforts that we had the money they helped donate.
Yeah,
for that.
I think it's more of that they probably had this dream of doing something like this, but they really needed some support, and so we were kind of one of the main organizations that like stepped up and was like, we support this and we want to stick this out with you guys.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing too. Is like Rebecca was saying, is we're not just there to give. We're not just a checkbook. We don't want to just write a check and forget about them. Oh, we did our good deed.
That's right.
We're still trying to invest more time into that and then promote those things and get the word out and just share that with our members. Because at the end of the day, we do this for all of you. Whoever's listening to this, if you're a member of Central Willamette, at the end of the day, we want to find something to support the community and make your guys' lives better.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, beyond general outreach, what unique kind of impact or connection do you aim to foster through Central Willamette's community engagement efforts?
Not a small question at all.
It's a loaded question.
That is, yes, that is very loaded.
Thanks, Kaitlin. I'm just kidding.
Yes. I would say what we aim for is that, we are trying to really show that not only are, yes, we are a credit union, but we are also part of these communities. We come from these communities. And I think that the whole idea of this is that we are so deeply rooted in what we do because we live here too. And it is so important for us to be a part of these initiatives and kind of see our communities thrive around us. We're not just, like an out-of-state financial institution that kind of comes in and plops down and no one really knows. We really want people to know who we are. And when they hear Central Willamette Credit Union, maybe they'll think of a specific story, or maybe they'll think of a specific person.
Or the reading room.
Or the reading room, exactly. And kind of tying us, Central Willamette, back to these bigger things that are kind of directly impacting our communities.
That's such an ambitious goal. Sometimes it doesn't, the ROI on that, like you said, it's a long game.
Yes.
And that's why it gets so forgotten the time of, I need to see it now. I need to see the returns now. It's just so refreshing working I came from corporate America, so that's kind of the game. Yeah. Enough is never enough. But here, obviously we have budgets, we need to still be profitable for the benefit of everybody. But that's a giant focus.
It's people first.
Yeah.
People first.
Yeah. And it's not a hand out, it's a hand up. That's
right.
the big thing.
I
found, I see that a lot more here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always kind of worked within the nonprofit space, kind of in different sectors. So I have always been super passionate about this kind of work. And the sticking point has always been, what's the ROI? And, it looks different just depending on what your organization's, priorities are.
What your mission is.
And what your mission is, exactly. And I would say, the long-term goal is that we are kind of, by investing in our communities will invest back into us. And we have definitely seen this model be successful. But it takes time and patience. And I think it's amazing that we work somewhere that is giving us that investment and really giving us the space to do the work correctly.
Yeah. By building up, you're building better. And everyone wants to pitch in and be a part of that.
Yes.
Making better. And sometimes you don't know how. Sometimes you just, or you don't, again, a lot of time it's monetary and you don't have time to do that.
That's right.
So that's the benefit of just banking with a credit union is
exactly
just being there by even just keeping a checking account, a savings account, a CD, any of that money, any of that profit we make, part of that goes into the community and we can't do that without you. So again, if you're looking to just give back and be a part of things just by your everyday habits, it's better to store that money with a credit union because a credit union will give to the community, where bigger banks, it's generally the bottom line for profit. And I think bigger banks it's just for stockholders. So.
Yeah. And not only that, I think another really important piece is we know the people that we work with. We know Bobby from Furniture Share. We know Tiffany from the Albany YMCA. We know these people. We know what they look like. We've talked to them. They know who we are. And I think that goes back to that. We're digging deeper than just giving a check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, again, we really appreciate, we covered a lot today.
Yeah, we're so glad you came.
So far, I got one more question for you. What has been the most surprising or your favorite thing that you've been a part of so far? What, as far as the community engagements, what efforts you put out there that you just,
or an event
that stick out?
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing so far?
I cannot give you one favorite thing.
That's fine. Give me a list.
I would say recently, so last week, Miranda, our community development officer, and myself, we were in Bend.
Oh, yeah. By the way, they're a team of two. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We did not even talk about that. So all this.
We started as a team of two, our marketing department. So
look at us now.
And look at us now.
So all the effort they're doing is a team of two. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought that was super important to mention. So anyway, continue.
Yes, Miranda is a really important piece of our team. And so, we were in Bend. we're doing a lot of outreach to like our newer communities. So Eugene, Newport, Bend, and I am having so much fun because these are kind of like blank slates. Like we don't really necessarily have partnerships there yet. We don't really know who's who, and to be able to kind of go in there and meet with people and kind of just learn all of the different initiatives going on in new communities has been so exciting. And on last Friday, we met with, it's a food pantry. It's called The Giving Plate in Bend. And their model is so cool. Instead of kind of, you know how, traditional food pantries, you go up and they give you a bag of food and you're on your way. This is a grocery store. So people come in, they check in, they get their own cart, and they're given as much time as they want to go through this food pantry that looks like a grocery store. The idea being that you're giving agency back to people. Like, you can pick out your own food. And they also have like a coffee bar, and they have an area for kids. They have like a whole play area inside. And Miranda and I were so struck by that model. I've never seen that before. I've worked in social services for a really long time. And the fact that I could see like some clients came in while we were there, and to just see like the interactions that they were having, it was incredible. So that probably recently was one of my most favorite experiences.
Yeah, and you told me something about the director too. I'm not like how she used to use it.
Yes.
And now she's the director.
Yes.
I love that. So I'm so glad
Absolutely.
you brought that up, because I was trying to think of a way. You just told me that today, and I was like, that's a fantastic story. I want to hear.
Yeah.
People should know about that. It's so inspirational
Yes.
to see where people come from and
Absolutely.
get there. And I just love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like that lived experience piece of it. When you do this kind of work, I myself have lived experience as well. It's such an important piece of like informing how you even interact with people, how you communicate. And when you're putting together programming, you know what it feels like because it is you also. I think that's a really important piece of it. So they have a really amazing program going on, and that has been super fun to kind of see how that partnership is going to continue.
Yeah, and again, the super cool thing about that is Bend's a new market for us.
Yes.
So we're in the process of trying to build it out. And generally the first step is, business development. You got to get out there, boots to the ground, and get members. But clearly, we're not doing that. We're actually taking or we're still doing that, but another branch of that is taking on community efforts. So this, like you said, the long run. Most people want to get the members coming in first, then focus on the community. Ours is a two-pronged attack. We're actually trying to get the members as well as establish the community stuff right away, which the community thing's been kind of going really well down there.
Yeah, so we're actually from that first meeting and from kind of the early stages of this partnership with the Giving Plate, they are going to take part in our internal community advisory committee that we're launching here at Central Willamette. And I think that's an amazing kind of that's an amazing reflection of what this type of work can do. They're already bought in, and we just met them, and they want to be a part of this, and they want to be partners. So
that's so fantastic. Again, not just writing checks, actually making partnerships.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and thank you so much, Rebecca, for coming on. I know it's pretty overwhelming to come on a podcast, but you did great.
Thank you.
We're so thankful you were able to do this. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at Central WCU. And if you want to learn more about us, visit our website. You can even send in some feedback to us or any questions you have. And we are so excited to keep building our lives together. We are so excited to keep building better lives together. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
The information provided here is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any financial decisions.